So today is June 3rd, and right now I'm in the old town of Poznan in the Rynek, and a lot of stuff has changed. So things are much more open, people are out and walking around, and I mostly want to show some video of the malls. So I took a video about a month ago in the malls, and it was really kind of frightening, and things changed very quickly. The malls opened up quite a bit just a week after that. And now they're actually pretty open, and it's a total contrast. So I'm gonna have a combination of some of the video from about a month ago and then some stuff I'm gonna shoot today in early June. So you're gonna see a huge difference. And one thing I just need to apologize a little bit before you actually see it. I was shooting the old footage on an iPhone 7 when the sound chip just kind of blew up. So 2/3 of the sound was all messed up. So I'm doing some stuff to maybe re-record some of the tracks, or you might hear some interference. So I apologize in advance. This is actually my first video on my new phone, so I'm trying this on an iPhone 11, and even the front camera has 4K, so hopefully the video turned out much better. So I'm going to show a little around the old town and just kind of see how much nicer things are and how much is coming alive. And then we're going to head to Stary Browar, so I'll show like what it was like a month ago, and it's really just kind of frightening, and what it's like today. Really, I'm feeling so much better in this environment. So we have all the restaurants, a lot of those are open again. Pigeons back out being fed, just people walking around. Just a nice day out. You know, not everything is quite back to normal, but it's really, really getting close. Today is April 25th, 2020, and I'm standing in front of Stary Browar. And Stary Browar is a nice mall in Poznan. In 2005, it was awarded Best Mall in the World by the International Council of Shopping Centers. And we're gonna check out and see how it is inside. Right now we have a whole giant wing here, and this whole big wing, I'll kind of show you where it goes, is, as far as I can tell, is totally shut down. I think there's only really one small part of the mall that is actually accessible right now. As I understand it, the architecture of the mall is based off an old brewery that used to be somewhere around here. So Stary Browar in Polish, the word stare, that means old, and browar means brewery. I think I like the architecture of this mall a lot. It's very interesting and different. You know, a lot of the malls, it's really kind of the same thing. I mean, you know, I was in Posnania in an earlier video, and I do like Posnania, but, you know, it looks very similar to just a lot of malls in Poland. And I wouldn't expect like a little, you know, passageway like this there. So it's a lot of little nice touches in this mall, and you'll see kind of more when we get inside. I mean, a lot of it's not going to be accessible. So we're here on Powiecka again. And we can enter the mall through here. This is spinning, so I think it's safe. You know, I think people are scared of entering the malls now, and I think at least as long as people are still scared of this, it makes them one of the safest places to be, because there's grocery stores that nobody's going to. So I think, okay, it would be scary to go into Stary Browar now, but like, there's nobody. There's not even any music playing. You know, thank God I don't have to record another audio track this time. This is the most quiet I've ever heard this mall. And as far as I can tell, the upper part of it we can't access, but we have the old Easter decorations here. It's the mask. And, you know, I figure, I mean, they might have cleaned it. You know, this is quite a bit after Easter, and they still have this stuff. I imagine there's not really too much foot traffic, so there's really no need to clean it up. We've seen already almost all of the mall that's accessible. Because if you look here, if we want to go upstairs, you can't go there. You know, this goes up a few floors. You can actually get a really nice view of this part of the mall here if you go upstairs. And we can't do that. Now we can go downstairs because there's Piotr Paweł. And we can go to the bathroom over there, I think. But you see everything just standard, you know, everything is as closed as you'd expect, except we go down here. And when I was here a couple days ago, it was, I think there were maybe 3 customers. I see one person already, so Well, you can at least buy some stuff there, some baked goods, and yeah, it's still pretty empty. I think this would probably be a pretty safe place to go in general. I mean, it's not as empty as the one in Avenida was, but I would rather go here than just a random Biedronka. So, what's Stary Browar like? I mean, we've pretty much seen just about all of it. It looks like maybe that's a dry cleaner. I guess that's open. Yeah, I think the bathrooms are open, but I think that's really it for Stary Browar. So I think we'll go check out another place next. And now this is what things are like a month later. So you can see just a drastic difference here. These levels are open. We're gonna go up there and see what's there. And this is something kind of funny that I didn't notice before. But the name of that shop, Bucharest, kind of like a pun on the capital of Romania, Bucharest maybe. I'm not really sure if that was intentional or not, but probably. So just a little while ago, we could only really go kind of down there. And there's a whole huge other parts of the mall that are open now. So the clothes stores and everything are open. We can go up the escalator. There's just tons of people here. So here we're pretty much at the top of Stary Browar. Like, there is a way to go just a little bit higher, but it's you're not going to get it just by looking at the escalators over there. So yeah, not even that long ago they still had all the Easter Bunny stuff out, but it's really kind of cleaned up a bit. So this is kind of a transitionary area between this other part we left right here. And I'm not sure which is the old and which is the new part, but this is actually really nice kind of outside area. And during the winter, they close it off. And we have some bars over there. We have a restaurant, and I know there's even some nightclubs in here. You know, I'm not used to in America there being nightclubs in malls, for example. So this is the other half here, and it's really, I think, probably bigger. And going between these is actually a whole park outside here. Let's just go take a quick look at that. And I think just recently the playgrounds have become accessible, so we're allowed to use them if one chooses to. They're setting something up here. You know, just there's the general feeling that everything's coming alive now. So it's a little in the distance. Let me just see if I can zoom in some and kind of see it. So you can see there is something over there that you can play on. So we're gonna go back to other area, and you can even see these buildings. So this is really, I think, a very interesting setup of the mall. You have the big clock over there, some hotels and things. Not connected to the mall, but since we're, you know, outdoors at the moment. So it's definitely not a outdoor mall, but there's a segment that is. And this whole area, this is a few floors, but each one of these floors is quite big. And I'm not sure what the current regulations are. I know they first opened the clothing stores where you could kind of just go inside and not try the clothing on. We're not gonna go walk over this whole thing, but just to kind of see roughly what we have. And there's something behind me that I'm really kind of surprised I missed, and it's just really interesting to me. There's actually Dzień dobry. There's a Volvo dealer in this mall. I'm not really sure if, like, okay, if I buy a car, if I buy a Volvo here, can I drive out? Like, it looks kind of like a little bit of a racetrack. Can I ride it through the mall? Like, maybe there's actually enough space. I've never seen a car dealer inside of an American mall before, or even a Polish one for that matter. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. We are on the ground floor, so I guess hypothetically, and there's one right here, and it looks like the lights are even on. I guess you could just drive out. You wouldn't need to take the car down the escalator. I want to return everyone to the scheduled plan of seeing some, more of the malls from a month ago. So I'll probably do at least 2 more malls in the present. So now back to the past. Right now we're at Kupiec Poznański, and this is a really, actually very small mall. It's right in the old town. I'm right in front of Wrocławska Street. So we're in Kupiec Poznański now, and compared to Stary Browar, this is kind of like the social center of the city. Like there's a few people over there. And it looks like it's not really nearly as shut down and closed off. Like there's at least a dark passageway there. There's a pharmacy, it's open. Of course, you have that in Stary Browar. But we'll see what's in this dark passageway, if there's really any point to it. And yeah, it just seems like mostly some closed stores. And up here we have a Biedronka that seems to actually have a decent number of people in it. So probably better to go shopping for this in Stary Browar. On the way to Galeria MM, had to pass through the old town, Stary. People are out and with their masks. Maybe people get some extra comfort by wearing the mask. Now, I was here, when I was here, I found some people that were still selling postcards, and I'm curious if they're still there. So March 16th, a month and a half ago, there were people there. They were selling postcards and all kinds of souvenirs of Poznan, and they're gone. One of the guys was really nice. I was talking to him for a while. I didn't put most of it on the video, but he seemed really friendly. So this area hasn't really changed too much in the past month and a half. We have Plaza Wolności up ahead. And this way we get to Galeria MM. So this is Galeria MM. And there really isn't that much space on the ground, but rather than kind of spreading out, they just went up. So we'll see, it's more of kind of a vertically based mall. So there really isn't all that much space here on the ground, but the mall kind of goes up. So I'm kind of curious if there's a way to get up, or if they just have this part of the mall open just so you can get to Lidl in the basement. And yeah, looking ahead there, it looks like, yeah, the escalators up are closed off, so there's no chance. And I love this thing. Like this is kind of almost something I'd more see in Ukraine. Like they really don't care at all about the Toy Story copyright infringement. So I don't see any of the toys from the movie, but I guess you can win something there. So right now I'm in front of Posnania, and I did a whole video devoted just to this specific place. It was on, I remember, March 16th, because it was Austin 316 day. And I remember at the time I was kind of even scared to go in, and so I'll put a link to the video up there. But we're gonna go and check this out right now and just see how different it is, because I already see tons of people walking by. Clearly a good group of people in the background. So we're gonna just kind of do just a quick look and see, because it was totally empty before for the most part. There were maybe a couple people in Carrefour and a couple others walking around. But dzień dobry. Yeah, this is one thing I noticed, like the environment today, like people are so much friendlier, because for 2 months I was walking around with this thing, probably when I shouldn't have been, and there's this negativity, but now everyone just seems kind of smiling, happy. So this is really a nice change. This is really affecting my mood in a positive way. So let's go take a little walk around Poznania and see what's there. So I'm really curious to see what this is like in contrast to a couple months ago. And yeah, you can already see the atmosphere is quite a bit different. Starbucks is open, grits on. Yeah, this looks a lot cheerier. I mean, the only difference, of course, is people walking around with masks, but I still see a good number of people. Not as much as normal, but I mean, this is still really not that bad. Honestly, the atmosphere here, it's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you can even see all those people in the escalator. That the floor up there was totally closed off, or almost closed off and empty last time. And yeah, I remember this place I specifically pointed out was closed. So we just have like, yeah, pretty nice crowd of people here. So the atmosphere is totally different. Kind of funny now we have more of a toilet paper shortage, because where we used to have the toilet paper, not anymore. There's the Barbies. So we will go on to the next mall from a month ago, and I'll go maybe to Galleria Malta, and that'll be it, I think. Today is April 29th, and we're going to be continuing our tour of the malls of Poznan during. And I'm on near Jezioro Maltańskie. So this is Malta Lake, and not too long ago this was closed down. Just like all the parks, and you couldn't really go here without worry of getting a fine. And now it's opened up, so there's a little bit of activity at least. Saw some people running. It looks like there's a little bit less right now, but yeah, this is what the general area looks like, and the mall is going to be kind of in that direction. One other thing I wanted to mention, this is a math travel vlog, and because of I kind of put a lot of those videos, I have a lot in backlog. They're kind of paused until I get through all this stuff. But I figured, there actually is some math going on here. So one of the things I'm often asked as a mathematician, even going back to high school, is, when I'm going about my daily life and doing basic things, am I thinking math? And generally the answer is no, but there's with some exceptions. Sometimes it might be if there's something I can see that can optimize or, make easier something that I'm actually doing, then I might think like that. And this going around Poznan to all these different malls, this kind of brings to mind something called the traveling salesman problem. So roughly speaking, what it asks is if you have, say, some number of different cities you're going to, you're trying to sell something, and the distance between each of these cities, so that it takes, so many hours or so many, kilometers to go between a couple cities, and all these different pairs, what's the optimal way of traveling between all these cities and then going back home? And as it turns out, it's actually something that's really quite difficult. So you can do it, you can kind of find close to a good solution relatively quickly. But the question is, okay, if you have n cities, how many computations or how many things do you need to test? And you can imagine, okay, if you want to try all different possible routes, there's going to be at least n factorial number of different things to test. And this is something that grows really, really, really quickly. So if it's just a small number of things, you can just test all the routes, and it's actually really very simple. And if it's a lot of things, though, even like, say, 20, for example, it's going to be really, really, really big, and it's something that our computers aren't going to be able to handle. And right now, it's certainly something of interest because, when am I going to be at risk of catching something? It's not going to be when I'm here where there's no one around or in these empty malls. It's going to be when I'm on public transport or when I'm going to be, maybe in a crowded grocery store, but we're going to try to avoid those. So roughly speaking, what the problem is asking for is there some, quick way of solving this? And for example, if you could, it's probably not even possible, but if you could find some way to travel between, if you have like n different cities, if you could find the optimal route using, n squared solutions, or n squared different, just testing n squared different routes, then this is something that would actually make you very famous. There are a lot of problems that this is kind of embedded in. It's not just a matter of going around to malls, avoiding DNA sequencing was one that I noticed coming back, that some ways you can formulate some problems in terms of that. Obviously just the original problem. Even in astronomy, in terms of moving the telescope to see the fewest number, the fewest number of movements to see the most planets or the most stars or whatever. So I'll put a link to this problem in the description, but this is one of the things that actually does come up in daily life and is kind of just, popping up right now. All right, so we're about to enter Galleria Malta. And I heard this place was abandoned even before the whole current situation and about to shut down. So I'm kind of curious what it's going to be like now. And okay, well, there's at least something open. The Rossmann over there, that's open, although that's pretty standard. But yeah, not too many people anywhere else so far. Let's see what's down this aisle. Looks like a lot of just kind of empty, closed, dark-looking stores here. I don't see anyone here. I mean, they actually it looks like they opened up the mall quite a bit, actually, that there's a lot of room to roam around. I mean, I guess there's one grocery store somewhere around here. Yeah, so this is the grocery store at Piotr Paweł. So, and I guess this is the main attraction in the mall right now. So, oddly, there's some just random cars hanging around this mall. I'm not sure the reason for that. I think I saw some other ones too. Like there's some others ahead. You got these two things, and yeah, just kind of not too much here. So here's a food court, and there's no one here, of course. It's a little kind of scary. And here's the movie theater. And of course this is shut down. And what is that? Peter Rabbit 2. I don't think that Peter Rabbit 2 is getting that much love now, unfortunately. And here we're in the top floor right now. We can actually kind of look down and see what the rest of the mall looks like. And it's really amazing that they actually kind of allow us to wander around, but just there's nothing around right now. And from this empty food court, we get a nice view of the lake. And yeah, we can just get kind of another view here of what it's like in the rest of the mall. So I was kind of surprised that so much of this mall was actually open when so much of Stary Browar, for example, was closed. And I don't know if they're really consistently between the malls closing the different areas. Like there was the McDonald's open, but then the whole rest of the food court was closed. Maybe they were just doing delivery, but it looked like they might not have even been. I'm not sure. So we are now in front of Galleria Malta, and the only reason I picked this place in particular to check out again afterwards is that people told me that it was just as abandoned before this whole incident happened as after, because Posnania is taking all the business away. And I kind of doubt it was that bad. So we're gonna go check it out and see. Otherwise it would have to be a completely abandoned mall, and that would be worth its own video for another reason. So let's go check it out. Okay, so we are entering Galleria Malta right now, and I do see four people at least at something, and Rossman's open, so there's some more stuff open than before, but it doesn't look that much different. Yeah, especially here, I mean, this really does have more of the look of an abandoned mall, because it's not just the current situation that's causing these problems. The more stores are closed here than in the other malls, and it just has this abandoned space there. And yeah, we're on a couple floors up right now, and I mean it's a few more people, but yeah, I really think I could probably make a abandoned malls video about this place during normal times even. Yeah, just kind of more of a view of this, because there's really not that much going on in this mall, and it's really kind of a nice mall. It's really kind of disappointing, to be honest. Here's that food court. There's at least a couple people here now. You still got that really nice view of the lake. Yeah, it's really wonderful. And yeah, just kind of some more views of this. Like things are closed. There's empty retail space. I mean, everything is really very well taken care of. And this is for 47,000 zloty, you can get this car. They really like their cars in this mall. For 17,200 euros, you can buy that car. I was never really thinking about going to an abandoned mall to buy cars. And this is even worse. You can buy a Ferrari at an abandoned mall, only in Poland. That says better than a lover over there. All right, we're on the other side of town, and there's Galeria MM in the distance. There's a Auchan over there, and it's probably the main attraction in the mall now. It's kind of similar to one of these big stores like a Walmart or Target or Tesco or something like that. And I think that's probably the main thing anchoring the mall right now. We'll see if there's really anything else going on there. And so we're gonna enter it. The other entrance was closed, so at least this one is open. And yeah, so there's Auchan up ahead. And it looks like, yeah, they have this other half of the mall definitely closed off. So this is definitely very different than, the approach Galleria Malta took. But that's open, so I think we'll go check that out in a little bit and see what's over there. Yeah, so here's the entrance to Auchan, and they didn't seem to want me to film there, so we're gonna go look around in some other places. So let's open up ahead there, I think. That's an M-Peak. I'm sure there's gonna be a pharmacy or something we can find. And what's down over here? Yeah, so that's just another open pharmacy. So like there's a little bit of this that's open. Most of it's just kind of roped off and closed though. So we're just outside of Poznan Plaza, and this is the so-called fast tram in Poznan, or the area. So there's a few different trams, and it goes all the way to the north to the University of Adam Mickiewicz. Okay, so we are about to enter Poznan Plaza. And so far from what I'm seeing, yeah, it looks like really nobody here. I'm glad that they kept this part open because, you know, like we just saw in some other malls, they didn't have it open, these other parts open, but yeah, it's really empty right now. So at least we have kind of a dark corridor up ahead. You know, I like this spooky kind of look at this, almost like the mall is haunted right now. And yeah, it's at the closed Starbucks, the low lights. But I'm glad I can at least see it. You know, it's fortunate. And yeah, there's the movie theater up there, and I think there is really not too much else in this mall other than a grocery store. Today is April 30th, and I'm going to go to the last mall that's going to be on our tour. And behind me is a very special garden. I can't get into it, but it's something I think it's leftover from communist times, basically, that there are these plots of land where people in Poland, they can have these little gardens and they build these structures, and they do all kinds of really interesting things with them. And I think maybe when the time is right, it might even be worth making a video in one of these places just to see what it's like. So today, though, we're going to be at King's Crossing Mall, and this is really close to the airport, which is kind of would normally be one of my favorite places in town because I love traveling and going places. And that's normally, what I intended this vlog to be about, but then, Corona happened. And the reason I actually know this particular mall, and it's behind me right now, it's just simply because when I was going to India a little bit over a year ago, I was told that the malaria medication that I had to take would be a little cheaper at a pharmacy there. And I don't think it really was actually, but that's where I went to get my malaria medication. And somehow or another, this is something I was really kind of surprised about. I was in India for an entire month and did not get sick. I can't imagine that my, Michigan immune system is necessarily adapted to tropical diseases, but somehow it happened. Okay, so we are going to be entering King's Crossing Mall. And yeah, I've only been here once, so I don't know this one that well. And there's someone I see at least. Oh, but these are not, these mannequins are pretty wonderful. So, yeah, that dog with them also. But yeah, this looks like, they kept a large part of the mall open, which I think is awesome. But then there's really not, that much of a crowd here. So we can kind of explore around and see what we find in these dark corners. I guess that's normally something like a food court, somewhere to sit and eat, I guess. But yeah, all the shops for the most part, of course, they seem to be closed. But a couple people, there's a guy in a mask pushing a shopping cart around, so that's at least something, probably from Auchan, which I think is nearby. There's a Auchan in this mall, I think. But that's a little strange. Okay, that store looks sort of open, so I guess, yeah, that's a Italian lingerie store that's open. So props to them for staying open during this. Yeah, so I think there's Auchan over there, so okay, good. So yeah, a lot more people in this area, just tons more. Okay, I hope everyone enjoyed that video showing how the malls and everything has changed. Honestly, I kind of delayed posting it. I guess it was a month and a half ago I took those just because I'm kind of happy that things are waking up, and it just kind of reminded me of the situation and just kind of like, so I thought, okay, let's maybe see what things are like right now and just, get a kind of a contrast. So definitely Poznan is waking up. The country's waking up. I think we're even going to have international travel is going to be allowed pretty soon. We're going to at least be able to travel within Europe to most places. So I'm very happy I'm going to be able to move around some. And actually, when this video is posting, I'm probably going to be on the Polish seaside. If I get a chance to post a video and take some video, I'll do that and show everybody what it's like there. So don't forget, and let me just, might as well say hi just for a little bit. They're always following me around. And so anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when I post another video. And hopefully everyone has a good weekend, and I'll say goodbye to Big Red.